talk about Ezekiel Elliott, Mike MaCarthy on Ezekiel Elliott, as a matter of fact, and the 2020 Combine being over with. It's a wrap. It's in the books. It's over with. I wasn't really impressed this season. I'm never really impressed with the Combine. The Combine is really, I don't really get my feelings wrapped up too much into it or put too much stock into it, because it is just a Combine, just to see where these guys stand as far as their attributes and speed and agility and strength and smartness on the field. And I made the video yesterday, as a matter of fact, about the DBs. I was really focused on the DBs. That's all I really care about, is the DBs. I know a lot of people like the running backs and, and the wide receiver. I'm a defensive guy, so I like the DBs, secondary guys. So I always look at the DBs, see what Dion has to. Dion is always there, so I always like to see what his opinion and his thoughts on the DBs, on the fresh new DBs coming out of college. And I made the video yesterday about the guys not, having the DB drill where they keep their eye on the inside, keep their eye on the ball, and once they get onto the field, they don't do that. So go back and watch that video, and let me know what you think in the comment section. But I wanted to talk about Mike MaCarthy's quote on making Ezekiel Elliott this year's focal point, because he's the star of the offense. Putting the limelight back on Ezekiel Elliott, making this a run-first offense. Ezekiel Elliott will be the focal point once again for the Dallas Cowboys offense. He will be the engine to make this train go. Now, what I have to say to that, now, Ezekiel Elliott had over 1,300 yards last year. Well, his numbers weren't bad. They weren't bad. I believe he was still top 10. 12 touchdowns, 4.5 average, 301 carries. So his numbers weren't that bad. He was okay last year. He had some passing yards, some receiving yards as well. So a lot of 12 of those, some of those 12 touchdowns were receiving touchdowns. But I want to talk about Mike MaCarthy's comment. I get why he's saying it, because this offense is supposed to be built around Ezekiel Elliott. Originally it was. But we kind of went away from that, because we got some pretty good receivers. We got Amari Cooper. We got, Randall Cobb, Michael Gallup. We got a new, hopefully up-and-coming tight end. Now that Jason Witten is probably going to be gone. With Blake Jarwin, Tavon Austin, probably going to lose him. But we didn't use him like we should. But it's kind of hard for everybody to touch the ball and be happy. You get what I'm saying? Because when you got so many weapons, it's kind of hard to, mix the ball, mix the success around. You get me? In order for Ezekiel Elliott to be great, in order for Ezekiel Elliott to be the focal point of the offense, in order to get the ball in his hands and for him to be successful, you must have a healthy, strong, dominant offensive line. Now, for the past couple of years, guys, our offensive line hasn't been that. Injuries, here and there, guys missing games. Connor Williams can't stay healthy. Still undersized to me. Still developing as a guard, as a left guard. And Connor McGovern, we drafted him last year. Hasn't seen the field yet. Got hurt, I believe, in training camp. So we really haven't got to see what this guy can do, what this kid can do, because he's still young. And, Travis Frederick's never going to be 100% again with his, GPS syndrome. We know Tyron Smith has been through so much with his back and his knees, and he's getting older. He's never going to be 100%. Their best two offensive linemen is, Martin and Collins. They actually did okay last year. You didn't see a lot of penalties, a lot of jumping off sides and holding calls last year. So they were pretty above average last year. They're not that dominant offensive line that the media and Skip and Shannon and Stephen A. Smith continue to say week after week about the Dallas Cowboys offensive line. They're not the best offensive line in football anymore. Now, when I think of best offensive line, I'm looking at Tennessee Titans. I'm looking at the San Francisco 49ers. Those were dominant running teams, guys. For your running back to score, to rush for damn near 300 yards in the NFC Championship game, that offensive line got to be a pretty pretty damn good offensive line. And we're not there anymore. I'm sorry. It's just that these guys are aging. Father Time is catching up with them, and they just don't have that push that they did back in 2013, 14, 15, 16, and so on. And until we get to that point, because we got the draft coming up, off season is here. I think season is here. So a lot of guys are getting plenty of rest that they need, especially offensive linemen, because they're in the trenches. They're doing the most battling, and they get the most contact. So their bodies go through a lot of wear and tear throughout the season, and it's hard for them to heal properly. So now it's I think season. So they're getting the right type of rest that they need. But still, you still can't beat Father Time. They're still aging and getting older. And I know that better than anybody. You think you can do it here, but your body says otherwise. They still need to draft smart as far as offensive linemen, whether if it's in free agency or whatever. They still need to keep offensive linemen coming. It's a constant cycle that they need to. Wow, that place closing down. Oh my God. Sorry about that. Yeah. They still need to keep a constant, young, youthful cycle of offensive linemen coming in here every year. Like I said, whether if it's through draft picks or through free agency. Because you might find a diamond in the rough, in the third or fourth round. That's a pretty good offensive lineman. Offensive lineman isn't that exotic. A lot of people like to pick running backs and linebackers and stuff in the first and second round. So you might look up and find a good offensive line in the, third or fourth, maybe fifth round. So you just never know, Luck of the draw, pretty much. We got a brand new coaching staff now, so let's see how this coaching staff can do with these guys that we still got on the team, and maybe with new guys that we get in free agency or through the draft. But that's pretty much all I got. It's pretty much self-explanatory, guys. In order for Ezekiel Elliott to be the focal point of the offense and be successful, be positive, whatever you want to call it, you have to have a healthy offensive line first. And I'm pretty sure Mike MaCarthy knows that. But nobody knows that better than 1980. That's where a football team starts. That's your first line of offense. You get what I'm saying? If that's not healthy, if they're not 100%, if they're not blocking, opening holes for Zeke, Zeke is not going to exist this season coming up. Make sure you stay cowboyed up and prayed up, because you never know what the day is going to bring you. Holla back at your boy. I'm out.
And the only thing else I got to say is, how about them Cowboys?